Right, today we're going to do a first impressions review of the Genuine Kawasaki Comfort Seat for the Ninja 1000 SX. Now, this is the OEM part, so this gets finished in slightly different, less textured pattern than the standard seat. It's got nice leather on it, memory foam padding for both rider and pillion, as well as nice little embroidered Kawasaki logo there. We're going to do a little quick first impressions video. Done a couple hundred miles on it already, so I'll tell you what it's like.
'Cause if we're in Monaco, I'll see you in Monaco,
Right, so what's it like on the road? Well, once your ass is actually on it, it's really quite nice, to be fair. It's initially it feels marginally better than the standard seat, and you kind of think, why have I spent this extra money? But I must admit, it's when you get out on the road that you start to really sort of notice the investment as such. I mean, you could spend 400 or 500 quid on a slip-on exhaust, especially for these. They're a little bit quieter than you'd like from a sort of inline 4, but not quite like the Ninjas of old days. But ultimately, where do you spend all your time when you're on the bike? You've got 3 points of contact: here, and your ass. And ultimately, what do you generally get more pleasure out of? It's nice having a loud or raughty bike or whatever, but if you're in agony riding it, it's just not as much fun, is it? You do want a certain level of comfort, and the standard seat isn't terrible, don't get me wrong, but this is certainly a step up. And doing a 2,500 mile tour in a couple of weeks, and certainly I think that's where something like this is going to come in quite handy. Thank you. I'm from South Somerset. Day one is very much going to be just a motorway day up to Edinburgh. That's 7.5 hours or so. Certainly think I'll find myself being quite grateful of the extra comfort. It may only add an hour or so extra onto the sort of numbness factor, but actually that would be quite nice. I don't want to be sore. It's 7 days around the country, and I want it to be just as comfortable as I could. Spend your money where you spend your time, makes sense. So we will get a full review out. First impressions, very nice, very comfortable, gets rid of some of the vibrations, and I think that's going to be the difference really here. Just irons out some of the creases as such. But we'll take it up for a whip onto the 303 if it's moving, so we can sort of see what it's like at the more motorway speeds. Somehow I don't think we're going to get up to some sort of cruising speed down here today. But I can tell you at 17 mile an hour, bumping over cat's eyes and creases in the road through filtering traffic, it is very comfortable. Thank you. So if a lot of your ridings are like this, maybe worth the investment. Remember you got panniers on. Remember you got panniers on. I would say maybe this is what it's like in London, but there seems like there's a lot more space. Except for this car. Oh, this is a nice place to be. Thank you. Oh. Open for cider, lovely. Oh, that's muddy. Even on real bumpy, horrible country roads like this, I have to say the seats There's nothing wrong with my arse right now. Look at that, lovely. Look at this. God, bumpy. Oh, bumpy. What is the point of the paint in the road here? It's the width of my bike. Right, I think I want to be going left there. Oh God, it's hot. It's just, right now, this is where, at this 5,500 RPM, I find this is where you start feeling some vibrations. This is where the seat stops it. It's just so nice. Now, granted, it's not all positive. It's not all positive at all. Like, I know it's gushing over it and I'm saying how much I like it, but I do. I really do. I feel like this is absolutely worth the investment, especially for what I'm going to do on the bike with a nice big tour, sort of 6, 7, 8 hours a day in the saddle. Like, this is going to make a difference. But ultimately, the only thing I can say that I don't like about it compared to the standard seat is the actual grip on the seat. Now, having a leather finish, you do sort of, your bum slides on it a bit more. I personally find myself shuffling it back a bit more often than I did on the standard seat. The textured finish on that was brilliant. It was really nice and grippy, and bear in mind I haven't changed my gear. I've got some Revit Horizon 2 jacket and trousers, pants, whatever, and they've got a little grippy bit on the sort of arse gooch. They got a grippy bit on the bum, and it, you know, it may help a bit, I guess, but that's where I noticed the real difference, to be honest. Just slipping around. So when you're going on some of the sort of fast, twisty coast roads and bits, a bit of not overly heavy braking, but some heavier braking, that's where you move around more. And if I had to criticise it, that's where I would criticise it. So it's certainly worth bearing that in mind. If you only pull it out on the weekends and kind of go down real twisty, fun roads, then maybe it's not a problem. But